Hey everybody, welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. I'm Rockin Robbie Billups, and it's time for the weekly comic book review. That's right everybody, time for the weekly comic book review. It's the show where I read a lot of comic books, and I'll let you know what I thought about them, and we always start with the pick of the week, and this week's pick of the week, Generation Gone #4. No surprise. I adore this book. It's amazing. I'm pretty sure number 1 and number 2 made my pick of the week. Number 3 was so close to the pick of the week. Seriously, guys, this book is so good. It's science fiction. It's about the youth. It's about culture. It's about the military. It's about superpowers. It's about who we are as people and what we would do with those powers. It's brilliant. I love it. It's such a good, fantastic book. Alice Cott is the writer, done work on like Zero and Wolf, Secret Avengers, really talented writer, doing really amazing stuff with Generation Gone. Andre Lima Arreo doing the artwork, amazing, I love it. It at times is a little surreal. He's got this fluidness to some of his figures at times, but it really works. It makes it feel like wide angle. It's very spacious, highly detailed, yet very simple artwork that's just glorious. This issue really cranks things up several notches. Issue 1 was great, 2 was great, 3 was great. It's going down in issue 4, guys. Seriously. Generation Gone from Image Comics, an amazing book. Once again, pick of the week. You can't have a higher praise from me than being able to consistently hit the pick of the week. Straight up, guys. Read this book. Really good stuff. Let's get on to some more independent small press titles, because we don't usually start off with those ones. Magnus #5. If you watch this show, you know I have also adored this book. I think it's imaginative. I think it's brilliant. I love this book. Kyle Higgins is the writer. Jorge Fjornez is the artist. Chris O'Halloran doing the coloring on this, as well as Generation Gone. An amazing job from everybody involved. This book was amazing. This is the final issue. Hopefully not forever, so listen, Dynamite, let's get a sequel because it's set up for one. This book was so great. If you like Blade Runner, if you like the original novel that it's based on, Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, if you like The Matrix, if you like stories that are really deep and about AI and what is life, read Magnus. Magnus was such a special book. It's so amazing. Seriously, Magnus was great. Seriously. Descender #25, speaking of artificial intelligence, Jeff Lemire, Dustin Nguyen, this book is amazing. I said it's the best sci-fi book on the market out today, and I still stand by that statement, especially if you like space opera. Fans of Star Wars, you're going to love this book. Fans of AI, you're going to love this book. Not the movie, just in general, the concept. This is another issue that really cranks things up. I would show you what is this week's best double-page spread in a comic book, but it spoils stuff from this book. Big deal, some of the things that happen in this book. Really good. Dustin Nguyen does amazing work on this with these brilliant, beautiful watercolors. The story it starts off so simple, and it's a simple story, at least it seems, but it has all these pieces, and Jeff Lemire perfectly just juggles them around, and it's great. It's fantastic. Descender is one of the absolute best comic books out on the market today. The Realm #2, speaking of Jeff Lemire, look at that cool, nifty variant cover that Jeff Lemire did for The Realm. The Realm #1 really impressed me, and it made my pick of the week. Issue #2, it didn't grab me as much as issue #1. I'll be honest, right? There was nothing bad about it, but nothing really hooked me. But there was the scene with the dude with the gun that drinks the Pabst Blue Ribbon. There was a scene with that was really cool. It's got great artwork, great storytelling, decent script, but just nothing really grabbed me, and you really got to bring back that hook in issue 3. We really got to have something that's going to just keep us anchored to this book. And so far, the concept is strong enough to warrant an issue 3 read, but 2 definitely lagged, in my opinion. Kid Lobotomy from IDW and Black Crown. Kid Lobotomy by Peter Milligan. So Peter Milligan has done some great stuff. He was part of that British Invasion back in the day. Shade the Changing Man from Vertigo Comics. The X-Force Ecstatic stuff he did with Mike Allred. One of my personal favorite works I've had Didn't like this one. Didn't really like it. It's kind of like in the near future, they bring back lobotomies, but now they eat the bits of the brain, so there's a little, I don't know. It was really weird, hard to follow, and juvenile at times. In my opinion, that's what I thought about Kid Lobotomy. Sword Quest number 4. When Sword Quest came out, which is based on the Atari game, I thought the concept of this kid finds out he's dying, so he's going to go get this sword that was never given away as the final prize for the game Sword Quest, right? So I thought that concept was really, really neat. Not what I was expecting. Now the book is pretty much turned into what I was expecting, and it's lost a lot of its luster for me. Though I think it only has one more issue, so at this point I might as well finish out. But what started off very strong and promising has kind of petered out, in my opinion, with Sword Quest. Mighty Mouse, seriously, Mighty Mouse, from Dynamite Comics, wraps up its story this week. Final issue, number 5. I've enjoyed this book a lot. Sholly Fish doing the writing. Really nice little story about Mighty Mouse coming from the cartoon world to the real world and all the crazy hilarity and insanity that ensues because of that. Seriously, it's a light read, but it's fun. I really, really enjoyed this book. It is mostly all ages, I would say, and it's got a very strong anti-bullying message, and I really did like it. I think fans of Mighty Mouse will enjoy this. It's a nice throwaway read. On a heavy, heavy week, though, you want to stretch those dollars, I can't really recommend Mighty Mouse, but it was actually really cool. I really liked it. Go Go Power Rangers, number 4. This book is amazing. This book is a treat. One of the reasons why is because of Dan Mora. Dan Mora doing the artwork on a Power Rangers book, it's phenomenal. It's amazing. Who even cares if Tommy's not in this book, right? It's amazing, and I love how the story fits right after episode 1 and before episode 2. Really cool stuff. Really great characterizations. Absolutely. Ryan Pera doing the writing is doing a great job. The characters ring true. The pacing, the art, everything is great, and you get the big Megazord scene from Dan Mora in this issue. Enough said, right? That stuff is really, really good. Batman the Drown. Let's move over to DC because we got the Metal tie-in. Metal has been so fun, has it not? Seriously, let me know in the comments down below. What do you think about Metal? What do you think about these one-shots? I love them. They're like creepy, dark Batman what-ifs that matter. And I really think they're super, super cool. Now, they all represent fears that Batman has. Now, this one, it's Aquaman, evil Aquaman Batman, but obviously it's a woman. It's Bryce Wayne from a world where the genders are all flipped. Super cool stuff. Very creepy. Dan Abnett, who is the regular Aquaman writer, does the artwork. Does the writing. Philip Tan and Tyler Kirkman share artistic duties. The art is very sketchy, but it fits the tone of the story. It fits the tone of what these super creepy metal books are supposed to be. I've loved these things, especially because of those covers. Absolutely amazing stuff. Batman the Drown, very, very fun. Just like Dawnbreaker, Murder Machine, and Red Death before it. Batman number 33. So it's all over the place, so we're just going to say, if you don't want to know what Catwoman has said in response to Bruce Wayne asking her to marry him, you might want to just stop listening for about a minute or two. She said yes. How do I feel about that? I don't really think it's the best idea. I find it hard for me to wrap my head around it. To me, I always felt like Bruce and Selina had a thing, but it never really was like true love. Obviously there was a romantic thing, there was chemistry between them, but I always felt like it wasn't quite that deep of a connection that would warrant something like marriage. Now, I know that back in the day, Batman married Catwoman, that's where the Hunters comes from. I understand all of this. And it's interesting, I guess, to take Batman into that direction, but we're just going to have to see how it plays out. Because to me, he always had that spiritual deep connection with Talia. Now, Talia's gone so far off the rails, insane and murderous, so I get that. Speaking of Talia, you really need to read this issue if you like Talia. This was actually a good issue. Joelle Jones coming in to do the artwork. Brilliant, great artwork. A good story, and the best part of it is that the Robins in here are told by Alfred what is going on with Bruce and Selina. Their responses are basically our responses. And Tom King gets to address that. I'm not the biggest Tom King Batman fan. I love Tom King's other work, but Batman is just not ringing with me. This issue was solid. I'm trusting Tom King. I'm going to see where he leads us. I've been trusting him for 33 issues. We shall see what happens. It's not my favorite Batman book, but this issue was one of the better ones, absolutely. Superman 33. The fill-ins are over. That's right. Peter Tomasi, Patrick Gleason, back again for Imperious Lex. Now we're finally getting back to the whole, isn't Lex supposed to be the leader of Apocalypse now and all that kind of stuff? So that comes back into play. Doug Mahnke doing the artistic chores on this book. A super veteran, seriously, has been drawing Superman off and on since the 90s. Great stuff, big, explosive, exactly what we have been used to with Superman and have been missing in the last few issues because of all the fill-in stuff. The Deathstroke story was beyond dumb in my opinion, but that's just me. I like the Sinestro one though. But having Tomasi and Gleason back with Mahnke on the artwork, this is great. Really cool stuff. I just love this book. This Lex as the Super Lex thing, it's going to end very, very soon. And I think this is where it is. We'll see. We shall see. Super Sons number 9. This book, this Planet of the Capes story has not been my favorite. I loved the first story arc for Super Sons. I love still the characterization, right? And Jorge Jimenez on the artwork. He's joined by Carmine Dejan Domenico on this one. And really good stuff artistically. Jimenez bookends, and Dejan Domenico does the middle part mostly. It does throw it a little, it makes it a little inconsistent in the artwork because their styles are so different. Planet of the Capes hasn't been my favorite story, but the characterization is still on. The artwork is still on. The flow, the tone, the fun, it's still there. So Super Sons is still super fun, absolutely. Green Lanterns number 33, I was supremely worried about this because usually I'm not that big of a fan of Tim Seeley's work. This is writer Tim Seeley's first issue of Green Lanterns. He has swapped books basically with Sam Humphries. Sam Humphries has moved on to Nightwing. Tim Seeley's first issue of Green Lanterns, though, is really, really good. It respects what came before, and it adds its own new take and twist and direction into the future. And I think it's really, really cool. Basically, Jessica and Simon realize they're going to have to get jobs, so they got to find real-world jobs. Meanwhile, their GL duties are taking them more and more off-world, which I think is super cool. So I really did like it. The artwork was beautiful. Eduardo Pansica with Julio Fiera doing the inking, and Alex Salazzo, something like that. If I messed up your names, I'm super sorry. Coloring. Everything on this book artistically was brilliant. The script was really good. I was very, very impressed with Tim Seeley's first issue of Green Lanterns. So there you go. Aquaman number 29. Aquaman hasn't necessarily become a must-read, but it has become a much better book than it was. I did like Brad Walker on the book, but it was inconsistent with when it was twice a month. But I think going to a monthly schedule with one artist, Stepan Sejic, doing it here, really good, solid stuff. Really neat and fun. You can obviously tell that they're gearing up the whole world of Aquaman to align with the movie. And that's cool. That's cool because I always thought Aquaman was cool with long hair and a little bit more of a rock star attitude, right? Look, think about the Grant Morrison JLA, the Peter David Aquaman stuff finally being collected in trade soon. So overall, Aquaman is a pretty solid, decent read. If you're a hardcore Aquaman fan, definitely got to pick it up. If you're a hardcore Justice League fan, you might want to pick it up. If you're a hardcore DC fan, maybe you want to pick it up as well. But overall, it's decent. It's not anything super big, but it is fun and it's pretty solid. Something that is more than solid is the Wildstorm. That's the cover of the week right there by John Davis Hunt. Intricate detail, great layout. Just, I could stare at that image for hours. I don't know. It seems simple, but I really, really like it. This is basically the big exposition issue. You get to know what exactly is going on if you're not already familiar. And of course, the new twist that Warren Ellis, writer, has put onto this. John Davis Hunt's art is brilliant and amazing again, just like that cover. Really fun, great, cool, grounded sci-fi stuff. And Doctor Alert. The Doctor. The Doctor. Not Doctor Who, but the Doctor. Authority fans know what I'm talking about. Oh, and Jenny Sparks. So you got Wildcats, you got Jenny Sparks, you got the Doctor, you got the Engineer. Man, Warren Ellis is building the best version of the Wildstorm universe we've ever had. Absolutely. Will we get a planetary reboot? Wouldn't that be crazy if Elijah Snow showed up or something? Let's move on to Marvel. Deadpool versus Old Man Logan. I don't typically read Deadpool stuff, but I read this because it's written by Declan Shalvey. And I really respect his work. He's a great artist working with Warren Ellis, speaking of Warren Ellis, on The Injection right now, which is a brilliant, brilliant book. As a writer, though, I wasn't familiar with his writing so much until I read Savage Town, the graphic novel he just released like a month or two ago. Really good stuff there. So I wanted to check this out. Overall, I didn't really like it that much, but then again, I'm not really that big of a Deadpool fan. It's a flimsy story, at least at first, just trying to get Deadpool to fight with Old Man Logan. And I guess that's the point of these books. Deadpool has a huge fan base, and people just pay to see him fight these other characters like Punisher and Thanos and Hawkeye and all that stuff. Gambit, X-Force. That's super cool. So if you like those Deadpool versus books, definitely check this out. But one thing you definitely got to check out is the first few pages of this are seriously the funniest thing in a comic book in a long time. It was hilarious. Like Looney Tunes hilarious. But the rest of the book wasn't as fun or as energetic as the first few pages for me, as odd as that may sound. But anyway, that's what I thought about it. The Mighty Thor number 700. So Legacy starting to go back to their old original numbering now. Thor, here it is, number 700, $5.99, but it's huge, it's thick, and it's got a ton of artists, especially from Thor's history, including Walt Simonson, which got that one little page right there for Walt Simonson, but that's super cool. Every version of Thor, pretty much, except for Thunderstrike, appears in this issue, and that's cool. Speaking of which, why is Thunderstrike not in here? No, Beta Ray Bill's not in here. Anyway, a whole lot of versions of Thor appear in this. Really cool artwork from Dodderman, Acuna, Heron, Burnham, Becky Cloonan. Amazing stuff. A bunch of different stories all weaving together to tell one tale. And I'm going to say this. Aaron Dodderman has been doing hellaciously awesome work on Thor lately. This is some of his best work on Thor. The pages that Dodderman does are amazing. Absolutely. So lots of foreshadowing about what is going to happen to Jane Foster. Lots of cool stuff. And since Marvel Legacy, this is the first thing that kind of has directly referenced some of the things from Marvel Legacy. Not really the Wolverine stuff at all, but the final host, the Celestials, what Loki's doing, all that kind of stuff gets referenced in here. And we shall see what happens and what becomes of the death of the Mighty Thor. Is it the death of Jane Foster? Is it the death of one of these versions of Thor, including maybe a Thor frog? Or is it the death of Thor, like Jane Foster as Thor? Is she giving up the hammer finally? We shall see. We shall see, but Thor's been a great book. Jason Aaron, the writer, doing a great job with this. Number 700, I think it's worth it. It's really good. It almost made pick of the week. It was that good. Seriously. Iron Man, Invincible he is, 593. The search for Tony Stark. Basically, Tony Stark's body is missing, and now it's up to Riri Williams and Mary Jane and Tony's birth mother to find out what's going on. Lots of intrigue, lots of mystery, so that's cool. Obviously, Tony Stark will be coming back soon. This is the road to get there, and I like how there's also bits of infamous Iron Man in here, so there is some Doom, there is some Thing, and there's a lot of nice development there with Alex Maleev doing the artwork for there, Caselli doing the other artwork. Really cool stuff. It's basically like they took the two Iron Man books that existed and merged them into one thing, and now they got to hunt down Tony Stark. So that's exciting, I guess. Incredible Hulk 709. It sucks that they went back to the original numbering a little too late, didn't get to hit that 700 thing, so I'm actually surprised Marvel didn't somehow tweak it so that they could. But anyway, the Incredible Hulk returned to Planet Hulk. So Planet Hulk is, I don't know, in the popular conscious, the most recognizable Hulk story. So Marvel Legacy is trying to take us back to what was familiar in the past, and that's what they're doing with this. So now Amadeus Cho's Hulk answers a distress signal sent from Planet Sakaar, where Planet Hulk took place. Greg Pak is still writing it. He wrote the original Planet Hulk. Greg Land on the artwork, actually doing some decent work. I'm not the hugest Greg Land fan, but this is some of his better stuff lately. Overall, though, story-wise, just couldn't really get into it. Didn't really feel as unique or special as the original Planet Hulk. Kind of felt like I was just rushed into a story, and with, I don't know, something just didn't hook me with this one, guys. I wanted it to, though, because Cho's Hulk is kind of growing on me, absolutely. Venom, 156, Mark Bagley on Venom, Eddie Brock back with the suit. It's my dream come true, right? But the book is just okay. This issue was really good with all the Kraven stuff. There's a Kraven versus Venom fight in here that's really cool, especially with Mark Bagley's pencils. There's just some hokiness in the story, though. Venom is a character that I think is better when he's handled a little bit more seriously, not so hokey. And I'm talking about like the dinosaur people, and some of the way that he talks with his suit is just a little hokey, but whatever. Mark Bagley on Venom, I mean, I'm down for these. So there you go. Champions number 13. I haven't been reading Champions for a little bit. But I read the Avengers from like last week or 2 weeks ago, something like that. And this is the crossover Champions and Avengers. The Avengers issue really, really blew me away. I was really impressed with it. This one, not so much. I kind of forgot where I was in the story. It didn't really make much sense to me, even though I had just read that last book like a week or two ago. Humberto Ramos' art is not the best of his career, at least in my opinion, in here. I really like his artwork, but something is, maybe it's a deadline, maybe it's something, but something is different. And it's not really, I don't know, it wasn't quite working for me in Champions number 13. Cable number 150, seriously, some bits of Marvel Legacy, just like DC Rebirth, are bringing back the 90s. And whereas Superman in DC Rebirth has brought back some of the best parts of the 90s, Cable has brought back the worst parts of the 90s. Seriously, if you're the most hardcore Rob Liefeld and Youngblood fan, yeah, pick this up, you'll love it. Overall, dumb. Did not like it. Didn't like the script. Hated the artwork. Not trying to be negative, but Cable was the worst. I'm just... Seriously. X-Men Gold, number 14. This Mojo story is wearing me out. I don't like Mojo stories and Longshot. And seriously, we had Longshot in 2 books this week. I'm not a Longshot fan, and I'm not trying to hate on the character or nothing. I had a Longshot action figure when I was a kid, but 2 books with Longshot, 2 very poorly done books with Longshot in it in 1 week, and it was enough for me. I got no X-Men for a few days, right? Absolutely. Star Wars Captain Phasma, its final issue arrives this week, number 4. This was great. This has been so cool. The Star Wars stuff, I can usually take it or leave it. Some of it's been really good. The Gillen Darth Vader stuff has been amazing. The new Darth Vader stuff is actually pretty cool. This is one of the best Star Wars miniseries that Marvel has done since they regained the rights. Seriously, Kelly Thompson doing the writing, Marco Cicchetto on the art. Art is just gorgeous and beautiful, and Kelly Thompson's script reminds us, don't sleep on Captain Phasma. She's supposed to be badass, and this is why. Cold. Cold-blooded. Seriously, I love the ending to this. Hats off to you guys. It was amazing. So that's what I read this week. That's what I thought about it. But DC has some good stuff. Marvel has some decent stuff, some bad stuff. They all have some good and bad stuff, right? Generation Gone, though, was amazing. Magnus was amazing. Definitely check out Magnus when the trade comes out. Get them sales up on those trades, man. Hopefully we can get Higgins and Fjornez and company back to do a sequel, because that book was just fantastic. Let me know what you read and what you thought about it in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for checking out the video. Please be sure to subscribe. We do this every week. Pop culture wrap-ups, top 5 lists, blogs, podcasts, a lot of that and more can be found at popcultureflossers.com. Thanks for liking, sharing, and subscribing. Thank you for rocking with us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Keep on reading.